Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tour Pro Talks. We're back after quite a long break. I've been away traveling, so I'm going to just quickly reintroduce myself before introducing my very special guest on today's broadcast. So, if you've not seen me before, I'm Genevieve White. I'm a travel and tourism copywriter and coach based in the Shetland Islands. And welcome to my very special guest today. This is Emily Adam, and Emily is an SEO travel and tourism copywriter. So, welcome, Emily.
Hello, lovely to be here, Jenny.
Oh, it's great to have you with us. And I know there's been quite a lot of interest in what we're talking about today because I think for many people, SEO is maybe just a little bit scary, a little bit technical sounding. So it's just going to be really nice to have a little chat about it and talk about some strategies that will help the travel and tourism people we've got in the audience today. So, without much further ado, because we've only got half an hour, I know it always goes really fast, so let's get started. So, for all of the people watching, by the way, a big welcome to you. I know many of my usual audience might be at the World Travel Market today. So if you're there, I hope you're having an amazing time. If you're watching on replay, yep, let us know. And if you are here and you're watching live, do please say hello and hi. Say where you're from. And yeah, if you've got any questions for Emily, do drop them in the comments as well. Because I don't know if my questions will cover all of your questions, so we'd love to hear from you. So, okay, let's get started. SEO. Now, as I said at the beginning, you probably know what it is, but let's just begin, Emily, if we can, by talking about why SEO is so important for travel and tourism websites.
SEO or search engine optimization, if anybody is unfamiliar with it, it's an important long-term method of digitally marketing your business. And in short, it just generally makes it easier for people to find your website. SEO is a number of different techniques and methods that will enable Google's robots and the algorithm to basically help Google or other search engines like Bing or Yahoo, whatever you decide to work with. It makes it decide essentially if your website is good or not. And so long as your website addresses all the things that Google is looking for using SEO, and if you get it right, Google will think that your website is great and show it at the top or near the top of search engine results pages, or SERPs as we call them. Obviously, it's so much more than that, but in short, it's important because it, number one, makes your business or your website easy to find for those people who are looking for it. And number two, it helps you to attract new customers through long-term marketing. And number three, it can help in building your brand image and your reputation.
So lots of really good reasons for using it there. I mean, I have spoken to people in the past who've said to me, "Oh, I don't feel I really need to worry about SEO because that's not how I find my customers. I find my customers through social media, like through Instagram, Facebook." What would you say to somebody who said that to you? What would your answer be, response be?
I would say that they're definitely missing out on it. It's all well and good having a website that you then promote via different channels, whether it's through paid advertising or whether it's through things like social media. But having an organic strategy in place that can help to attract customers over the long term, something that's, like I say, long term marketing that's never going to go away for as long as Google's going to be there effectively. It's just another way of getting your customers to basically find your website, find your company, and find out that you exist.
Mm. And I suppose it's something as well that you've ultimately maybe got a bit more control over as well. If you're using that as your marketing strategy, you're maybe less likely for your website to kind of go out of business overnight or for you to get locked out of it. Like people sometimes get locked out of their social media
Yeah, completely
platforms.
that. I think the thing is as well with social media, especially, is like the algorithms constantly changing. With SEO, it's a lot more natural, the changes that happen and the things, obviously all the different things that are implemented by Google over time. Um, that sort of, you need to tweak and adjust it, but relatively a lot of SEO kind of stays the same. There are different trends and things to keep on the lookout for, but in general, it's quite an easy thing that once you've learned how to use it and implement it in your website, it will kind of be the same thing forever.
Yeah. Okay, brilliant. I think that's a really good introduction to why SEO is important. Now, we do only have half an hour, and I don't think we're going to be able to do a complete how-to step-by-step or anything. We're not completely unrealistic. But I was wondering, Emily, if you could just, for anyone who's interested in starting to apply some SEO techniques to their strategies to their website, what would be some basic steps of optimizing a travel website for search engines?
But yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, we can't talk through them all. We would be here all day. We could do like a week long, like a whole week long program talking about that, because it is in everything you do on a website. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It is in everything you do on a website, even down to things like your domain name, which a lot of people don't know. It's in your web design, it's in every single page on your website. It's even in things like the way that backlinks are worded on websites that are linking back to your website. So, and a lot of people think it's just blog posts, and they are a huge part of it. But if I did have to break it down into the most basic steps that you should definitely be looking at, the most important things I would say are to optimize your web design, especially for mobile devices. Make your web design as user-friendly as possible. To add a blog section with optimized blog posts for your targeted keywords. So don't just put any old updates on there. That's not really what a blog's for anymore. It's to answer questions for customers that will then want to, they'll be Googling these questions and then hopefully come into your website by clicking on them via Google. And then one that is often overlooked that I would really recommend taking a good look at is to optimize your about section. Google especially really values expertise. So just making sure that your about section really paints you in the best light possible and justifies why your business is the go-to in your particular industry. Because it's not robots that look at your about page on your website. It is done by humans. So somebody will be on there checking it, reading through, basically deciding if you are an authority in your industry or not.
Oh, right. I didn't know that. So your about page is actually looked at by a human.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very interesting. A lot of my clients that I look at, the about page is often the thing I flag as needing a little bit of work for a whole number of reasons. But I did not know that. That's very interesting. Cool. Learn something new. Okay, there's so much there. There's so much value there in what you've just said, Emily, that I'm going to maybe unpick some of it a little bit. So we're going to be speaking about blogging in a little minute. In fact, I think that's my next question. Actually, let's just skip on to that question. We'll start talking about blogging in a little bit more detail. Then we might go back to some of the other things you've just spoken about. And sorry, if you've just joined us, if you're wondering what on earth we're on about, we are talking about SEO strategies for your travel and tourism website. I'm Genevieve White, and I'm joined today by Emily Adam. Please say hello if you're watching. You're very quiet out there, and welcome if you are watching us. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about blogging, Emily. You said blogging was really important for SEO. Why is blogging important?
Yeah, so one thing that we really need to take note of is that blogs, or at least the blogs that perform well, are effectively a business with a marketing strategy built entirely around the use of SEO as the literal backbone of their entire business plan. If we look at traditional blogs, they don't often advertise, they just answer questions. And then companies pay them via affiliate marketing, having affiliate links on their website to promote their products. And that's how these blogs or these businesses are built almost entirely around SEO and perhaps sometimes social media as well. That's effectively how they make their money. And by implementing blog posts on your website, even if it's just 2 or 3 a week that you're posting, you can use search term queries that people are searching Google for in order to direct traffic to your site, much like regular old-fashioned blogs.
Okay, so my next question then is, how can people, because this is maybe quite a basic SEO question, but it's one that some people might not be sure of is, how can people find out the questions that their customers are asking on Google?
So like keyword research.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that
which
would
is
be, yeah, keywords are really integral to SEO, and they have been for a long time, especially when it comes to things like the blogs. And there's plenty of different tools out there that can help you to choose the right ones to target. Even some tools that can sort of help you narrow down which ones to include in your articles, just to make sure that they're relevant. And when using these tools, you need to make sure to make a point to target keywords that are long form, so commonly Googled questions, but also ones that have a high search volume and low competition. So that way you're looking for basically answering questions that a lot of people are Googling and not many people are answering. Um, yeah, but you have to be aware also that keywords are important in everything on your website. This is in like your captions, in your alt text, your images, in your headings, your tags, even your domain name, your slugs for your different posts and pages, things like that. So, really getting into the nitty gritty of the keywords, there's a lot to unpack, but just choosing the ones to target for your blog posts and things like that, that's easily done with like a variety of different softwares that you can use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, again, there's a lot of info, and probably we don't have time to start going through all the different possibilities of all the different software that you can use for this. But as regular viewers will know, I'll be summarising our chat in a newsletter which will come out next week, and we can share some of Emily's go-to links for keyword research
Yeah,
there.
I have
Um,
some. I do have like an image saved somewhere that has like a huge list of all the different software tools that are highly recommended. Many of them I use myself, and they're all pretty good. So you can definitely
mhm.
include that on there.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. That'd be really helpful. I mean, one thing that I would say, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this, Emily, is sometimes you can get a little bit overwhelmed with SEO, I think, especially during the keyword research. And I remember when I first started learning about SEO, just trying to teach myself in the beginning, I would just kind of like ricochet around all of these different, like I go from SEMrush to and get a login and password from there, and then I go to somewhere else, and it can get quite overwhelming if you end up with like too many free accounts. So I mean, what would be your advice for that, so people can kind of avoid getting in a kind of muddle with it?
I would say use a fair few of them to begin with, whichever ones you really sort of like enjoy using, you get a good feel for them. If you do want to stick to the free accounts, just as you're sort of starting to learn your SEO and build it into part of your business, I would say just keep them on a spreadsheet. Then you can just sort of go through them, using them as and when you need them, knowing which ones you've sort of like maxed out your credits for the month or however they work. And then once you've picked one, I would say pay for your subscription and use that one from then onwards. A lot
I
of them
think that's
operate the same. It's just the user interfaces that are very different, that sort of, people prefer different things.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. And I mean, I think your advice about having a spreadsheet's top notch as well. I think that's maybe where I went wrong in the beginning. Just I wasn't very methodical. And you really have to, if you're taking the time to do the keyword research, you really need to have a way of recording everything. Otherwise, it's pointless. It's just like
Yeah,
bits of paper lying around. So yeah,
yeah.
spreadsheets are really
That's
good.
my advice for everything. Stick it on a spreadsheet.
I used to hate spreadsheets, but I've grown to love them, I must say.
I still hate
Okay,
them.
so you just tolerate them for the sake of SEO. Okay, we got some lovely comments coming in now. Hi, Ivan. Greetings from Budapest. Oh, lucky you. I'd love to go to Budapest. Love to be in Budapest right now. So welcome, Ivan. And we've also got Louis. I'm very well, thank you, Louis. Yeah, good to see you here. So yeah, please keep coming in with your comments and your hellos. We love to hear from you. And any questions you've got about SEO, do let us know. But time is ticking on, so we're going to keep moving on with these questions. Okay. I think The next question's about like challenges people face with SEO. And I think I just mentioned there a personal challenge of mine, which is just getting in a mess, a kind of organizational mess and getting overwhelmed. But I mean, have you come across any other challenges that people face when they're trying to optimize their websites?
Like personally, usually the issues that I have mostly are with clients
Mm.
asking for things that won't benefit them and then not taking my advice when I try to help them out. So sometimes they'll try and be like, oh, I want to pay per word, and I'll be like, that's fine. And then give me a specific keyword to write an article for, and then be like, but I need it to be less than 1,200 words. And I'm like, in order to give you the best article possible, looking at this particular keyword, I need 3,000. I can't do it for 1,200. And really, what they're doing there is they're asking for things that, they're not going to jeopardize their website, but they're not going to benefit it as much as they could benefit it.
Mm-hmm.
People looking at keywords that shouldn't even be a priority for where they're at in their business. They're targeting the wrong keywords and just not listening when I'm trying to say to them, like, this would be a lot more beneficial for your strategy. But at the end of the day, they're paying me to write their articles, not to manage and oversee their entire SEO strategy. So it may be that they're focusing on different things and that they're just using that for filler content. It's always a question. But another issue that a lot of people have is that because there's many blogs, travel is a very saturated blogging niche. It can make it difficult to compete with some of them. And a lot of companies don't understand that SEO isn't like short-term marketing, like adverts or something. It's something that compounds over years, and it's more of a slow climb to the top of the industry. So, they'll do it for like a month or two and be like, oh, this isn't working. We're going to scrap the whole strategy and it's not important. We'll stick to social media. But that's just not how it works. And that's, not how it should work. It's something that you definitely need to implement over a longer period of time. I would say give it about 18 months before you start to see some really, dramatic results, I would say.
Yeah, persistence really, really pays off. It's not
Yeah.
something you can expect to make big changes overnight. But yeah, if you're in it for the long game, it's worth persevering for sure. Let's move on because time's ticking on, Emily, and we still got lots of questions to speak about. So next, the next question was actually about SEO software tools you'd recommend for businesses. Would you like to talk about that now, or would that be better just shared in the
I think
newsletter?
we mentioned that earlier. Yeah, like I said, I have the photo of like all the different softwares that we can look at. I can just put that in
Okay.
the newsletter for you.
Okay, brilliant. That's great. We can move on then. Okay, the next question's about the future of SEO. I mean, I have heard some people say things like, oh, SEO, it's not really worth it anymore. SEO is dead, stuff like that. I mean, what would you say about that claim? Obviously you're an SEO writer, so you must believe there is a future in SEO, but
Yeah, I mean the rise in social media as a search tool does scare a lot of people, and the term, the death of SEO, it's just not true. SEO is not going to die until search engines do. And that's a very long way off. I mean, you look at the size of Google and you think that's not going anywhere anytime soon. Yeah, but as for the
yeah.
future of SEO in other areas, there's like lots of trends that are predicted for next year. These can change at any moment if there's a Google update that can affect them. But some of the biggest ones for 2025 look like they're going to be the crackdown on AI written content. Google's already started implementing things that are going to detect AI written content and not recommend these in search engine results. We're also going to see an increase of zero-click searches because of Google's AI overview. So less people are going to be clicking on articles to read them. They're just going to read the overview and get their answer there. But this is going to make it more competitive to not rank just in the top spot, but also to rank for the recommended website that Google's AI tool pulls its information from and then recommends. And because of this, we're also going to see an increase of follow-up search intent. because the AI overview on Google isn't answering every question that people have when they're Googling a short question, instead of clicking on a link, people are going to be searching for more specific terms. So we're going to be looking at really hitting the more niche and specific target keywords for our blogs and articles going forward.
Right, okay, that's fascinating. And I had noticed just quite recently what you're saying about the AI stuff coming up first. And I mean, often as someone who's searching myself, it's just like, oh, there it is. So that's really interesting to hear what you had to say about that. Okay, a few comments. Not all of the comments are being displayed, which is a little bit annoying. I can see some pinging up on my phone, but here's Stefan. Stefan was a recent guest on Tour Pro Talk, so it's lovely to see you here, Stefan. And Amin saying, I missed it. Well, I don't think you did miss it, unless you're not talking about something else. I mean, we're very much here, and we've got 10 minutes left of the conversation. Sorry if your comment's not displaying. I'll come and respond to all the comments on LinkedIn when we finish talking. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'd like to ask, because obviously some people might be watching thinking, oh, I'm just like a little one-person band, travel and tourism company. How can I possibly compete with like one of the travel big boys when it comes to SEO? I mean, can a small travel and tourism company compete? Is it worth them trying?
Absolutely, definitely. One thing you need to keep in mind is persistence. So, like I said, a lot of smaller businesses will often think, oh, it's not working for me after they've created 10 articles. It's not going to work after just creating 10 articles. But if you have a good strategy in place that you can adapt based on technology shifts, like with the introduction to AI into the mainstream, that can run for years, like that will really work. You've also like not relying on one form of marketing. You really do hit the sweet spot when you combine social media, your website SEO, and paid advertisements as part of your marketing strategy. And these are the big three that you really need to be hitting. And so many people miss out on the second one simply because they don't realize its importance. And all of them kind of influence one another in different ways. So if you've got people clicking on your website from your social media, and then there's various parts of your SEO that are done well on your website, that's going to lead to audience retention, and that's going to increase your SEO, which is going to then place you higher in search engines and so on and so forth. But another one that I would really recommend for small businesses is to create blog posts that are targeting keywords that have a high search volume and low competition, because that's going to find, a lot of people are searching for a particular question, but not many people are answering it. And the more of those kind of queries that you can create articles around that are obviously relevant to your brand and everything, the higher eventually you're going to end up ranking in the Google search engine results pages.
And if there's anyone there who's maybe not got as much SEO experience, who's maybe thinking, but how do I find out, how many people are searching for a specific thing? Again, this is something, isn't it, Emily, that the software the links you provide will be able to help people with?
Yeah, absolutely. It's all in like the keyword research tools and everything. A lot of them make it really clear. They'll have like a little color coded system, like green, amber, and red, for both of these things. So you can sort of take a quick glance at it and be like, oh, that one's green. That's going to have a good chance of me getting noticed or coming up higher in the search engine results pages if I target this keyword.
Yeah, so it does. It does. Yeah, these tools are great, and they do make it a lot easier for you. Okay. I think we've spoken a bit about keywords, but it's such a big topic. And maybe we could say just a little bit more about how to select the right keywords for your business. Because you can. It's probably quite easy to generate loads and loads of keywords, but how to select the right ones? I guess that's something we've just spoken about with the software. But then, could we
Yeah,
maybe
pretty
talk a
much.
little bit? Yeah.
I would say like choosing the right ones Again, it would be the high search volume, low competition. That is choosing the perfect ones to target in your blog posts, using as many relevant ones and synonyms as well, like throughout the blog post. Anything related to that target keyword is going to help boost your article. But also across your website, using as many keywords that are targeted, to your brand. So say, for example, I'm currently building a website on tourism in South Korea. You want to target as many different keywords across every section of your website related to Korea as you possibly can. Basically, just so that when Google scans it, it knows what your website's about and it knows where and when to recommend your website to people searching for it.
Right. Okay. Wow. This is so much good advice here. My head's spinning. I think I'm just going to have to go and listen to the talk again and unpick all the new things that I've learned. This has been so valuable. Thank you so much, Emily. We're almost actually at the end of our time, but we're getting lots of nice comments. We haven't had any questions, so I'm just scrolling through lots of lovely comments saying it's a great talk. No questions. So maybe this is a good point in the broadcast to say a little bit more about how you can find Emily if you'd like to work with her. And Emily, could you maybe talk a little bit about how you can help people?
Yeah, sure. So you can just drop me a message on LinkedIn, obviously. Or if you're happy to put my email address in your newsletter that you're doing about this little live
Yes, I
that we're
will.
having at the moment, that would be great. I'm a writer, so I offer search engine optimized writing for blog posts if you already have a strategy in place. I also offer audits and bespoke content plans, so I don't often advertise these very often. But if anybody wants a consultation call to learn more about them and what might fit their business best, just drop me a message and let me know. Next year, I'll also be launching a new website at www.becomeatravelwriter.com, and I'm sure that Genevieve will be able to share it with you when it goes live. And this website will have all kinds of different tips and tricks for SEO travel writing and implementing it in your own blog or company website and so many other things. As you can imagine, it's a fairly huge niche. And within that, I'll also be offering a few different coaching programs, courses, one-to-one sessions to teach you how to do things like creating your own SEO strategy, building your content pillars, even down to how to write your articles in a way that benefits both SEO and your clients or your audience. It's not set in stone yet what the courses will contain or, which ones will be launching first. But if anyone is interested in getting in on this early, do let me know because I plan on rolling out some discounted services pre-launch. So yeah, just drop me a message on LinkedIn or an email. And if you can just let me know that you're coming over from this live session so I know where you found me from, that would also be great.
Brilliant. Okay, excellent. Well, lots of info in there as well, but don't worry if you're scrabbling around trying to write stuff down. It's all going to be in the newsletter. Alfredo says, "Oh, I've joined late." Welcome, Alfredo. Better late than never. And you can always go back to the beginning and watch the replay. Okay, so thank you so much, Emily. Question from Amin. Can you share the website link? I think he's maybe asking about your new website that you were talking about, but it's not actually published yet, is it?
No, it's not live just yet. It will be published next year. But if you're able to share that
I've definitely,
in one of your
yeah.
newsletters or something, yeah, that would be great.
I'll put it in the newsletter. So yeah, no worries. I mean, that will go in the newsletter. And when Emily's website goes live, I'll share a post so you all know that you can go and check it out because it sounds amazing. Okay, Emily, I like to ask everybody this when I remember, seeing as this is a live for travel and tourism professionals. If you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go and why?
I get asked this question an awful lot. I've already been to the places that I wanted to go the most. That was Korea. I ended up living there and I visited around 7 times. But in the future, I think I'd like to take my mum to Australia. I'd like to take my dad to see the Northern Lights. I'd like to be able to take my sister to Vegas when she's finally 21. I think a lot of people in here will agree that a lot of the time it's more about the experience than the destination. And there's lots of places in Europe I'd like to go to for cultural purposes, you know, Italy, Poland. Um, but at this moment in my life, I value having experiences with my family and friends over pretty much anything else. So, you know, the places that they want to go rather than places that I want to go, I would say.
Oh, well, lovely. Well, let me know when you're coming to see the Northern Lights, because I live in a pretty good place for seeing them.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Emily. Much appreciated you being here today. So much information there that you've shared with us. I'll have a job writing the newsletter to get it all, to get down everything that you shared with us, but I'll do my best. And thank you. And thank you to our lovely audience. Thanks for all the supportive comments. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. I've got another exciting live all lined up and ready to go, and I'll be sharing about that in next week's newsletter. Thanks a lot, everybody. Goodbye.